Hey everybody, welcome to SETTA'S Place. Today's video is how to make a traditional granny square. I do have a different video showing how to do the same thing, but in that one I had a lot of people ask me to do a slower version. So this one is just me going a lot slower and working through the whole process of maybe the first 3 or 4 rows on how to make a traditional granny square. So if you don't need it quite that slow, I have the other one in the description box. And that's just a little quicker, but it's the exact same technique. So if you know how to make a slip knot, a slip stitch, a double crochet, and a half double crochet, so that's what's needed to make this particular granny square, a traditional granny square, and how, my technique and how I do it. All right, we're going to start with a slip knot, which is just however you attach your yarn to your hook. And I just make that's a slip knot. Put it through and then pull the yarn and tighten it up. Then I chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also do a magic circle, but that is a little more advanced. So I might do a tutorial on how to do a magic circle the way I do it. So keep an eye open for that. But anyway, so now we're going to make this into a circle by slip stitching it to the first chain that you made. You just slip stitch it through and pull. You're going to work over this tail. So you have a hole right there from where you joined. You're going to hold the tail against the circle. Chain 1. And then we're going to do a double crochet into the circle. So yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a yarn. You have 3 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. And that is a double crochet. Now we're going to do 2 more double crochets. Yarn over, go into the center. 2 loops and 2 loops. Do that again. Yarn over, go into the center. 2 loops and 2 loops. Okay. So right here we have a chain 1 that we started with. That's right here. But then we have 3 double crochets. Okay, I'm going to chain 2 here. Now my preference for me is to chain 1, but for beginners it's better to chain 2. I'm finding, because till you learn your tension and how you're going to make how tight your stitches are, you'll need some room. So you can even chain 3 if you like, but chain 2 will be sufficient. Then you double crochet back into the center again. So this is your corner space, that big, nice, big space right there. Then go back into that circle again and make 2 more double crochets. Like that. Chain 2. Double crochet back into the space and do 3 double crochets. Like that. So you can see already, this is a corner and this is a corner. So you can see your square is starting to form. Chain 2, go back into the center and make 3 double crochets. Like that. Now, if you have trouble working over the tail, because I held it down while I worked over all these stitches. But if you have trouble remembering to grab it, or if you don't grab it, it's okay. I'll show you at the end how to do it. So if this doesn't get caught under here, just leave it and I'll show what to do. Okay, so now our square is almost finished, our first little square, or center square. Okay, so now this is where I'm changing up just a little bit from the normal. Normally you would chain 2 and then slip stitch into the top of your net, the beginning stitch, and you'd have it like that. But when you have it right here, this slip stitch right here, it's harder to start the next row to me. So what I do is I go back. Those are my 3 double crochets, and I'm going to make a half double crochet to connect this together. So I just yarn over, go into the top of that first stitch, not the chain 1 we did down here, the top of this double crochet, pull up and go through all 3. That's a half double crochet, and I'm using that as my corner space, and it's going to make it easier to go back into this space for our second row. Okay, before I move on, I'm going to show you with the tail. If you worked over your tail, then it's worked in underneath all this, so you just pull it and it tightens up that center. See, now it's closed up, but you're going to take your yarn needle and you're going to sew a little bit more. That's what I do, underneath these, and then cut the excess. If you did not work over your yarn, you do the same thing. You take this tail and you work it underneath, and then you can cut it. But I'll show you that at the end, so you can see how I do it. Okay, so now this is our center square. So for round 2, I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm gonna do a double crochet back into this corner space that I just did, and make my double crochet like that. Now I'm gonna put 2 more into the same space, put all 3 double crochets into that corner space, and then we're going to start our stitches in this next corner space. Now I'm going ahead and chain 1. My preference is not to chain, but for beginners, I suggest you go ahead and chain so they won't be really tight. So then yarn over and reach all the way over to this corner and make another double crochet. And you need 3 of them in the corner right now, like that. And then you're going to chain your 2, because this is a corner space, and do 3 more double crochets back into that same space. All right, so you can see your corner, see how it's formed here. Now this looks like this is a corner also, but you only did half of it. So when we come back around, we're going to finish the other half of this corner, but we'll get that done when we get to the end of this round. Okay, so now we've got to work into this corner. So go ahead and chain 1, and then do your 3 double crochets into this corner space. Chain 2, go back into that corner space and do 3 more double crochets. Now you can slow down or pause the video if you need to, if you want catch up with me if I'm still going too a little fast. But you just hit the pause, then make your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay, then chain 1. And then do that in the next corner again, 3 double crochets, chain 2, go back into the same space and do 3 double crochets. Okay, so we're almost back to the beginning. See, this is where we started, where we did those 3. So now chain 1. And in this space where you made those 3, you're going to put 3 more double crochets. So this corner now has the 6 double crochets in there. So now you're going to do your half double crochet to connect. So the top of this first double crochet says 1, 2, and 3. That right there. And do your half double crochet to connect it. You can also just chain 2 and slip stitch if that's easier for you. But I find this way helps it from using this half double crochet in the corner when you join, helps it not be crooked. Because the more you do granny squares, you'll see that sometimes it gets offset and crooked. Okay, so that's round 2. Okay, for round 3, I'm gonna try chain 1, open up that space so you can see, go back in that same space and do 3 double crochets, which is half of your corner. Going to chain 1, but this time, now you have this open space right here. You're going to put 3 double crochets into this open space. Like that. Then you chain 1. Then you're in the corner space, so you got to go into the corner and do your 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets into the same space. Like that. Chain 1. And then there's that open space again in between. Do 3 double crochets. And then we're at a corner. So chain 1, go into this open space. That's your corner space. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in the same space. Remember, you can put it on pause while you make those stitches and then catch back up. Chain 1, there's that open space in between, put 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then go into the corner space and make your corner stitches, 3 double crochets, chain 2, go back into the same space and do 3 double crochets. Chain 1, go into this open space and do your 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then we're back at the beginning where we started, and we're going to put our 3 double crochets in there with the 3 that's already there. Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to stop on this row. So when my very last stitch, when I'm finished, that is when I like to go ahead and do to finish up the join. Instead of doing a half double crochet, I like to do the regular chain and slip stitch to the top of the first stitch at the very end, the very last one, just to make, because that way it's over there instead of in the center. So that is the traditional granny square. And then of course you just cut your, cut your yarn, and there you go. Now if you want to make this bigger, all you do is repeat the last round over and over again. So once you do your corner, you jump over to this space. You jump over to this space and do 3. Chain 1, do 3 in this space, then chain 1, and then do your corner. So you just every time, because so each row you're adding more of these open spaces. So you just fill them in with 3 double crochets. So you continue doing that all the way around until you have it the size that you want it to be, and then finish off. Okay, I got my yarn needle that I use to sew in my ends. You just take the end, oops, and you go under just a few of the stitches. Don't go all the way through, so you can't see it on the other side. You just pick up a few of these stitches around this circle, like that. And you pull it, and then you could pull it even a little tighter if you want. And then I cut. And if you need to go around even more, you can go all the way around it. If you did not crochet over your stitches, go all the way in the circle until you get all the way around, and then you just cut it right down to here. There you go. So that is the traditional granny square. There are several different ways to do this. In the description box, I have another link to my tutorial list where I make another traditional granny square where these holes aren't as big. So you can see a little bit of the difference, because I personally don't want my holes to be this big. That's why I chain 1. But if you're at the very, very beginnings and you want to learn how to make a granny square, it's best to start here so that you won't, till you learn your tension of your yarn and all that kind of thing. But so that is it for the tutorial. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you later.